So let's go ahead and add some images here. At the beginning of this first paragraph, and you want to make sure you get your cursor right there before you insert the image, let's add one of her beautiful paintings. I'll use the image icon in the Insert Common menu to insert the image. You want to look in the Berry folder and the Images folder inside the Berry folder. When you double-click, I like to use the Thumbnails option. If you're on a Macintosh, you'll want to click on the little icon in the top left that lets you view thumbnails so that you can better see your options here on the page. And let's first put the stealing image. This is actually called Stealing the River. So I'll insert that at the beginning of that paragraph. And at the beginning of the second paragraph, let's put another image. Again, I like the thumbnails so I can see what I'm doing. And this one's called Sally in Circles. And let's scroll down and add one more image here in our story. So just get your cursor where you want the picture to appear. And this time, if I use my thumbnails, it's the letters-book JPEG. And I'll use the alt text Letters of Heaven. Now I want to show you how you can use styles to float images and position them on the page in a way that lets you wrap text around them. So I'm going to create two image styles, one to align images to the right side of the page with the text wrapped around to the left, and the other to align images to the left side of the page so that the text wraps around to the right. I'm going to create these image styles as class styles because then I can reuse them to align any image I want, left or right. So let's create a new style. This time I'll just click on the New Style button. And I want to create a class style called Image-Right. And although Dreamweaver will add a dot there if you create a class style without the dot, it will only know it's a class style if you choose the Class Selector Type radio button. Also note here at the bottom of the CSS rule dialog that right now Dreamweaver is assuming I want to save this into the layout.css file. That's an external style sheet that's already attached to this page. That's what's controlling the formatting, like the dark blue background color and the position and style of the navigation links at the top and bottom of the page. For now, I'm going to create all the new styles that I'm making on this page for this document only. When we're done, I'll create a new external style sheet and show you how you can move them into their own style sheet. But you should also know that you have the option now of creating a new style sheet as you create a style as well. So you have three choices. You can save a new style into an existing style sheet, you can create a new external style sheet as you create a style, or you can save the style into the existing document. For the Image-Right style, I want to go to the box category, and the most important thing I'm going to do is float that image to the right. That's what's going to align it to the right and cause the text to wrap up around it to the left. I'm also going to use the margin settings to create a little space around this image. Now, note that you'll never use padding when you're working with image styles because you can't put space inside the image. You have to use margin to add space outside the image. Remember when we were looking at the div in the very beginning of this lesson and looking at padding is on the inside of an element, margin is on the outside? So if you're adding space around an image, you're always going to use margins to do it. And one of the cool things about using margins to add space around an image is that you can add it only to some of the sides and not to all of them. So if I'm going to align this image to the right, then I'm actually going to want to create a little space on the left in order to keep that text from bumping right up against the image. So let's add 10 pixels of space on the left, and let's add 10 pixels of space at the bottom. Click OK. And now I have a new class style called Image-Right, and if I select this image so that the image properties are visible in the Properties Inspector at the bottom of the page, now I can use my class options, and notice there are many styles already created here. Most of these are coming from the layout.css file that's already attached. But I just created an Image-Right style, and as I apply it to this image, you see that it aligns the image to the right, And it also adds a little bit of margin to the left and below the image, and everything else wraps up to the left of it. Now let's create a new style that we'll call Image Left. Again, it's a class style. I'm still going to save it in this document. And if I click OK, I want the box category. This time I'm going to float my image to the left. And if you're following along, when I align the image to the right, I wanted spacing on the left. So now if I'm aligning my image to the left, I'd want margin space on the right. And again, at the bottom. So now I can apply this style to this image, again selecting the image and choosing Image Left. And because I've created these styles as class styles, I can use them as many times as I want on the same page. So I can select the image here in Letters from Heaven and align it to the right.